We bring in a former KGB agent who spent 10 years undercover spying on the United States. He is also the author of Deep Undercover. His name is Jack Barsky. I became fascinated with your story when I saw the incredible 60 Minutes piece on you, sir. Times and tactics have certainly changed. Back when you were here in the United States hiding in plain sight, you would do what, a chalk mark under the West Side Highway to indicate to your other Russian operatives here in the U.S. that you needed to meet?
Yeah, that was a means of communication. And let me tell you, that hasn't changed that much either.
Really?
We still use some rather primitive measure because they can, they're not subject to technical breakdowns.
You just said we. Let's clarify. You blew off the Russians. Okay, I just need to be sure. You mean those guys that you used to be a part of.
There's a worldwide communities of intelligence operatives that sort of respect one another when they get together.
I understand.
That's the way I meant we.
Are you surprised at all when we have all these investigations going on that Russia meddled in our election? Go back to when you were doing this in the 70s here. Now, of course, you're an American citizen and a patriot, but does any of this surprise you?
Let me just clarify one thing. There's a difference between espionage and what we are called in the business active measures. What we're talking about, the meddling aspect, that's called active measures. I have here a book with me that is the definitive history of the KGB, because it was put together based on notes that were taken directly from the KGB archives. There's a 30-page chapter in there that says active measures. And I give you just one egregious example. The KGB was really, really good at this. There was at a time, there were a lot of Americans who believed that J. Edgar Hoover was a secret cross-dresser, invented by the KGB, fed into friendly news media, and then it made the news media. And there were other such stories. Nothing much has changed. The idea is the same, to create disinformation, to create confusion. What they're now doing, they're using the internet. Obviously, it's a whole lot easier, and you get a lot more. And on top of it, not only is it more widely spread, but it's the gullibility of the American public has reached astronomical proportions.
Well, we want to bring in Bob Anderson to the conversation. He's a former FBI executive assistant in charge of global cyber criminal and international operations. You spent, sir, 15 years chasing and arresting Russian spies just like Jack here. But give me a sense, now we've got, and he's right, they don't have to fight to get fake passports or documents or have that totally tense moment as they cross borders or they go through TSA or anything like that. They're using automated bots. They're going on Twitter. And now Facebook is testifying at this moment and admitting that 126 million Americans looked at fake news that came through Russia and on to Facebook. Does that surprise you at all?
No, it doesn't surprise me at all, Liz. I'll tell you, some of the things Jack was saying earlier, he's dead nuts on. The Russian intelligence services, whether it's the SVR, FSB, which is their internal and external services, haven't changed much in the last 100 years. They're an extremely aggressive intelligence service, and all you got to do is look to the president of Russia currently, who was a former colonel in the KGB, and now you let him have the aspects of cyber and everything that can be brought with it. It is a formidable challenge for the United States.
Bob, it's on us then. It's on the Twitters of the world and the Facebooks and the Googles to figure out how Russia is spewing out these algorithmic bots and millions of different kinds of articles that are completely fake and affecting us. Is it not? What do you think will come of this this hearing here?
Well, I think you're going to see a lot come of it. I think it's finally got to the point where the Twitters and Facebooks are collecting absolutely so much raw intelligence from Americans, and then also being able to be manipulated and used for disinformation campaigns. That's what Jack's talking about when he's talking about active measures that the Russian intelligence services would deploy. I think there needs to be a check and balance on exactly how they do that and what aspects of it they can use.
Jack, Vladimir Putin was KGB. Now you see all of the tactics that they are using today. Is he a danger to our democracy, even not passing a single border, not using his passport, just staying in Russia and guiding all of these tech heads to do what they apparently have done with our election?
He absolutely is. He was, and and he will be. And it isn't just Putin himself. It's, I believe, the entire state. If Putin were not the president, there's something in the Russian character, and I love Russian people, but in the character of the Russian state that is expansionist, that is aggressive, and it has been through the Soviet years, and it is now, and it is a permanent threat. And the threat is enhanced by the fact that a lot of ex-KGB came to power, and they use whatever means available to them and whatever they can get away with to cause trouble.
Bob, we must run, but should we look at Vladimir Putin as a very serious enemy right now?
Oh, he's a formidable enemy and a formal threat, especially with everything he has at his power, Liz.
It's a really interesting moment to have both of you on together. Thank you so much. We have Robert Anderson, the former FBI chief, bigwig over there, and the former KGB spy, Jack Barsky. Wow, incredible stories to tell. Please come back, both of you.
Thanks, Liz.